Coming up on OU Nightly, it's much colder than we were this time yesterday, but we're tracking a weekend warm-up, and that will bring us storm chances. I'll time out the threat.
And the only two remaining Tulsa Race Massacre survivors plead their case in front of the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Hear what they're asking for. Plus, Second Chance shut down. Why the Norman Animal Sanctuary is temporarily closed. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Noah Mack. Tonight we're coming off of an eventful weather day for northwestern Oklahoma.
Last night we saw some hail and even some tornadoes touching down. OU Nightly meteorologist Coy Taylor is in the studio. Coy, go ahead and break everything down for us.
Yeah, Noah, Emily, that storm system long gone, though. It did bring active weather yesterday to parts of Oklahoma. But here it is off towards the east there in the Ohio River Valley right now. But we just have clouds and dry air moving through. It's much colder than this time yesterday. We're running about 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday thanks to a cold front that sparked those showers. But again, it's long gone. Colder air settling in. We have a few cold nights ahead that we have to get through, but then we have a weekend warm up on the way. That's the good news. Here's water vapor imagery. We're tracking our next storm system. It's all the way up in the northern Pacific off the coast of Alaska. See this little spin here over the last couple of hours? This thing's going to drop south off the coast of California and then move onshore, and that's going to bring us a severe weather chance on Saturday. So that's what we're tracking, that little area of spin out in the Pacific. So we will be watching, though, in the meantime, a windy Wednesday. Here in Norman, Oklahoma, we have a few cold mornings. We warm up for the weekend, and then a severe weather threat moves in. I'll time it out. That's coming up.
Thanks, Coy. Survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre are demanding reparations for all they lost, and today they went before the Oklahoma Supreme Court. OU Nightly's Kaylee Fan is live in Oklahoma City with the story. Kaylee?
That's right. The two remaining survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre appeared before the Oklahoma Supreme Court, as you said, in this building directly behind me to demand reparations for what happened in 1921. This is Benningfield Randall's and Viola Fletcher's last chance for justice, as they claim that the effects of that massacre are still being felt today. Attorney Demario Simmons, Solomon Simmons, beg my pardon, says that the city of Tulsa has not done enough to help the Greenwood neighborhood recover. Attorney Christina Gray, who is representing the city of Tulsa, says this is not a new issue at all. In fact, in 2023, a Tulsa County judge dismissed this lawsuit.
The survivors allege that defendants blighted the localized, discrete Greenwood neighborhood through offensive and criminal acts causing property damage that is ongoing and requires abatement.
This is not a new remedy. This is not a new injury. This is something that happened as a result of an incident, a terrible incident in 1921.
The exact numbers asked by the survivors for those reparations have not been yet released, but we will keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting live from the Oklahoma Supreme Court building, Kaylee Fan, OU Nightly.
Thanks for that report, Kaylee. Today, Second Chance Animal Rescue announced it is temporarily closing due to hazardous mold in the building. They're closing their physical doors because, quote, concerns are severe enough to compromise staff and animal safety. During this time, our physical doors will be temporarily closed to the public. But they say, quote, our commitment to our furry friends remains unwavering.
Well, it's election day in Norman. Voters are heading to the polls for a runoff in City Council Ward 4 and an election race for school board. Here at OU, the Student Government Association is holding spring elections from now until 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. OU students are voting on the next Campus Activities Council chair, various undergraduate student Congress representatives, and an amendment to the SGA Constitution about the University College District as the reorganization of UCall leaves about 13 seats needing to be redistributed. SGA Congressional Administration Chair Maddie Cantrell says everyone should vote, even those who are graduating in May, as this election will still affect the rest of their college experience.
And so there still is drastic university policy that we could be making for the last couple of weeks of the semester.
If you haven't already voted, then the link to the SGA election page is on the association's OU Engage page. And Israeli airstrikes have killed 7 volunteers in Gaza, prompting outrage across the world. OU Nightly's Brooke Griggs has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Israel's prime minister says the airstrike was unintentional and, quote, deeply regrets the tragic incident. The World Central Kitchen aid workers were traveling back from a food warehouse when their cars were hit by Israeli forces. 6 of the volunteers were from various countries, including the U.S. Several governments have condemned the strike. The Florida Supreme Court has decided a ban on abortions in the state past 6 weeks of pregnancy can take effect starting May 1st. But the court agreed to give voters the opportunity to choose if the state should expand the abortion time frame to viability at around 24 weeks. Voters will be able to weigh in on the issue this fall through a November ballot. Former President Donald Trump has obtained a $175 million bond in his New York civil fraud case. The original bond was posted at $464 million, but it was reduced significantly by a New York appellate court. Knight Specialty Insurance Company issued the bond. Their chairman told ABC News he considers himself a supporter of the former president. And the mayor of Uvalde, Texas, is resigning, citing health issues. This comes weeks after a controversial report defended police response in the 2022 school shooting. Just a month ago, the police chief put in his resignation as well. Emily Noah, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. This weekend, the Norman PTA Council hosted the Norman Chocolate Festival at the Noun Hotel on Campus Corner. 17 local vendors put their mouth-watering chocolate on delicious display. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine was there testing some for herself.
I'm here at Every Chocolate Lover's Dream, the annual Norman Chocolate Festival. You can literally find anything chocolate here, from chocolate bacon to chocolate chili. But the sweetest thing about this is that all the proceeds go to support Norman teachers and students through scholarships, and it supports local businesses. Well, sweet tooths were finally satisfied this weekend. The Chocolate Festival made a resurgence after taking a brief break during COVID. Norman residents couldn't wait to rush in. But for Norman's small businesses, this was a chance to showcase their company and creativity.
It helps me see what's out there and get a view of how people are viewing chocolate these days. I just want to be able to put my creativity out there.
This is just something that I really would just love to see grow and just be loved and to love our community.
The community taste testers also turned to judges picking their favorite treat.
I was a little bit too sugar blown. Well, I did really like the mango cream chocolate bowl thing. That was really good.
This is the real definition of cheat day.
But this one cheat day has the chance to help classrooms in the Norman area. Proceeds from every ticket sold at the Chocolate Festival fund scholarships and grants for Norman students and teachers, making the festival that much sweeter. Reporting in Norman, Kaylee Carnine, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kaylee. That looks really delicious. And the judges have spoken. This year's winner for Yummiest Treat is La Baguette Cafe and Bakery.
Well, coming up, there's a 4-legged friend hoping to find a forever home. We'll introduce you to the Pet of the Week after the break.
Plus, new rules in the Railway Safety Act are going into effect. Learn more about the new policies up next.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh,
great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria?
When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
A feline is in need of a home this week, and OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin has all the details on this furry friend in this week's Pet of the Week.
We've met plenty of dogs here at Norman Animal Welfare looking for their forever home, but this week we're meeting a new four-legged friend, and her name is Meow Meow. Say meow you doin' to Meow Meow, a 9-month-old cat needing her perfect person.
Meow Meow's been here a couple months now, so she's been, which is a long time for a cat. But if you're looking for a cat that's like super all over you all the time, that's not gonna be Meow Meow.
While she has been here for some time,
she's gonna have some opinions, which we love for her.
She has a great personality, as she can be cuddly and playful.
Oh, good girl. She just pretty much loves her some Meow Meow. She doesn't like other cats. She doesn't like dogs. So she would love to be the only cat somewhere.
Meow Meow is looking for her forever home, so if you're interested, stop by Norman Animal Welfare to pick her up today. Reporting for OU Nightly, Abigail Franklin.
If you're interested in Meow Meow, she's available today and her adoption fee is waived. Reach out with any of the options on your screen. But if you're more of a dog person, Lila is still available from February and she's also waiting to meet you. Either pet is adoptable and it's never too late to help a pet in need.
A new rule requiring at least 2 workers on every train goes into effect today. The 2-worker rule on freight trains is just one step toward much broader new regulations included in the Railway Safety Act. Additionally, the Department of Transportation has conducted thousands of inspections on rails and crossings. They have issued new safety policies related to tanker cars and improved benefits for many union workers, like paid sick days.
This is a rule that is good for workers, it is good for communities, it is good for America's economy. And I actually am convinced that it is good for railroading writ large as well.
Well, coming up, a Florida man is facing consequences after threatening a government official.
We have the details on the court ruling up next.
And Noah and Emily, we're going to see weather like this half of the screen over the next couple of days. By this weekend, storms return, so we'll get that half. I'll time it out right after this.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here's a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute, That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start chocolate dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hey Oklahoma, thanks for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. We saw a round of severe storms last night roll through parts of Oklahoma. Those are long gone, but now our attention is going to turn to this weekend. More severe storms in the forecast, or at least a possibility of them. We're still kind of working through the details, but it does look like western Oklahoma from I-35 and points west out towards the Texas Panhandle are going to be under a risk of severe storms. If the data holds together, we'll kind of get a clearer picture as we go throughout the week. But it is springtime in Oklahoma, so this is as usual as we go throughout the months of April and May. Let's look at Futurecast. So this is going to be one of our global models, so not a very high resolution, just kind of get a general picture of what's going to happen in the atmosphere. We pick it up Saturday morning. We'll have snow ongoing out in the Rockies well west of here, so we don't have to worry about any snow potential. We're going to be talking about storm potential. As the day progresses, clouds build. We'll have a cold front kind of sweeping through the area. And then as we head throughout the afternoon hours, we'll probably have storms start to fire up in western Oklahoma. You know the classic springtime setup here in Oklahoma. Those slowly move off towards the east, towards the I-35 corridor as we head later into the evening. So severe storms possible as we head through Saturday evening. The exact threats of those are still a little bit uncertain, but all modes of severe weather are possible. I mean, it's April, for goodness sake, so that's what we expect this time of year. But in the meantime, we're going to have cooler mornings. So tonight into tomorrow for your Wednesday morning, it's going to be a little cool. We're going to have 40s and 30s across the state. But as we head Thursday morning, that's going to be the coldest morning across the state. We could have a freeze potential for the northern section of the state. A frost potential as we get a little bit closer towards the I-40 corridor, especially off into parts of eastern Oklahoma. So if you have any plants or have already planted those, the tomatoes, the peppers, you might need to cover those, especially if you live up towards green country or north of the metro in northeastern Oklahoma. But over the next couple of days, we are tracking a weekend warm up. As I mentioned, we start with 62 degrees tomorrow. We take another step up to near 70 by Thursday, and then we're in the 70s by this weekend, and that's going to add to our storm threat. Enough fuel in the atmosphere is going to get that going. Here's our skycast for tonight. 42 degrees, mostly clear skies across the area. Those clouds clear out. By tomorrow, ample sunshine, 62, but it's going to be on the bit on the windy side across the area. Here's your 7-day forecast. 62 for your Wednesday, again 68 as we head into Thursday. There's that storm threat. And then as we look into the start of next week, that's when we're going to see the total solar eclipse move across a good chunk of the country. Here in Oklahoma, though, we will only see like a partial eclipse. So you'll still see the sun. It might get a little dim, but it's not going to be a total blackout like Arkansas and parts of Texas and southeast of Oklahoma are going to get. But it does look like we might be fighting some clouds in the southern part of the country. We're still kind of working through the details, Noah and Emily, but we will have that forecast as we head later on in the week, what to expect here in Norman.
Yeah, I am very excited about the solar eclipse. I plan on being out there on the South Oval on campus watching it. What about you, Noah?
I'm hoping to go back to Dallas to visit my parents because I really want to see the full picture.
Well, I get that for sure. Thank you so much, Corey.
Yeah.
Thank you. A Florida man has been sentenced to 14 months in prison for threatening to kill Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts last year. Neil Bridge Sidwani must also serve 3 years of supervised release following his incarceration. He pleaded guilty in December to transmitting an interstate threat to kill. Authorities said he called the Supreme Court and left a threatening voicemail for a member of the High Court.
And OU football is gearing up for their spring game.
OU Nightly's Andrew West has what Brent Venables wants from his squad this season.
It's looking like Mosier madness for OU men's hoops as they lose another player to the portal. I'll have which Sooner is the latest to leave and more next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello, I'm Andrew West, and it's time for sports. March Madness is winding down, and while some teams are enjoying the big dance, OU men's hoops is ended up on the wrong side of the madness. This morning, star guard Javian McCollum submitted paperwork to officially enter the transfer portal, according to On3. McCollum led the Sooners in scoring last season, averaging over 13 points per game, while also averaging over 3 assists. Javian is the 4th Sooner to enter the portal as he joins guard Otega Owe, guard Milos Uzan, and forward John Hughley. The mass departures leave Porter Moser with only one returning starter before heading into their first year in the SEC. And the Oklahoma City Thunder look to stay on top tonight as they hit the road to the city of brotherly love to take on the 76ers. After a close call against the Knicks and the postseason right around the corner, they know it's time to lock in.
Credit to the Knicks, they had some big-time players who made some big-time plays, but, we also made some mistakes down the stretch that we're going to have to clean up, especially, coming towards the end of the regular season. We got to really hammer down on, a lot of that execution stuff because at the end of games, that's what separates a win from a loss.
OU spring practice continues tonight, and if you're ever running low on adjectives, head football coach Brent Venables has you covered. Venables knows the challenge ahead of his squad head into the SEC and can't say enough about the level he needs Team 130 to reach.
We're just, regardless of the conference affiliation, my job, and my job's always been to build the most competitive, strongest, deepest, fastest, explosive, smartest group of football players I can, whether that's linebackers or it's a defense or it's a team. So that's what we've been trying to do.
If I told you someone reached base 13 out of 14 at-bats with 3 home runs and 7 walks, you would think it was 2001 and Barry Bonds was reigning terror in the Bay. But it's 2024, and I'm not talking Bonds, I'm talking OU softball's Jada Coleman. Coleman's dominating performance against the Jayhawks over the weekend didn't go unnoticed as she was named National Fast Pitch Coaches Association and Big 12 Player of the Week. Now let's talk tennis. OU men's tennis looks to kick off a full week of matches tonight as they host 10th-ranked Texas A&M. The Sooners are coming off a 4-0 victory over UCF on Saturday and look to improve to 17-2 on the season. Emily, Noah.
Thanks, Andrew. And still to come, it's a big day here at the University of Oklahoma.
That's right. We'll tell you all about Giving Day and how you can support the OU community after the break.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Pasta and chocolate dinner.
Oh, it's Rebecca.
Pasta dinner.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
I'm Kiriana Gamboa with an update from state leaders as they prepare for the eclipse next Monday. Totality can be seen in parts of southeastern Oklahoma.
I'll go ahead and just say it is the best place in the entire world to view this eclipse. So,
Governor Stitt says the state should see a $7.4 million impact daily. 60,000 people are also expected to visit. With so many traveling to rural Oklahoma, expect phone service to be spotty. Noah, Emily.
Thanks, Kiriana. Now, there are about 7 hours left of OU Giving Day, the 24-hour fundraising event hosted by the university every year. The money raised will go toward programs and departments across all 3 of OU's campuses.
You can even donate to help support productions like OU Nightly through the Broadcast Programming Fund. To donate, visit givesooner.org. There you can select a fund and a dollar amount.
Well, Giving Day is really great. There's also a lot of events on campus for students to take part in, and it's pretty nice outside.
Yeah, and that good weather may not stick around. We'll go over to Coy Taylor to look at some possible severe weather.
Yeah, Noah, Emily, that's what we are watching. Again, on Saturday, the potential for severe weather west of the metro. It does include the metro, though, so be weather aware as we head into this weekend. I know there's going to be a lot of weekend activities out there as we get into springtime. 62 tomorrow. It's going to be nice as we head into the weekend, and we're watching that solar eclipse on Monday. Clouds could be here. We'll have a better picture by Thursday.
Well, thanks, Coy, and thank you so much for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Noah Mack. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine.